welcome to the Wholeness Podcast. I'm your host, Mandy, and I'm so happy you're here. I have a very exciting announcement. My podcast is now produced by Newtomedia, and I have all the information about that in the video description below. You can check that out. And before we get into today's episode, all about life being a video game, and I am sharing all the best cheat codes with y'all, I just want to give a loving shout out of thanks to today's podcast and video episode, which is Positivities, my beautiful tea line of luxurious medicinal blends. I have been feeling a little under the weather the last little while, and I must say these blends are part of the reason why I beat whatever it is that I came down with. I really truly believe in the power of medicinal herbal remedies and how really they can change our life starting from the inside out. I always say inner flow, outer glow, and these tea blends are just that. So if you guys want to check out and sip along with me, you can check out Positivities in the video description below as well. And without further ado, my loves, let's kick off today's episode. So for some time, I have believed in this philosophy that life merely is a video game. We happen to be the players of that game. And I truly believe that we are all destined to win this video game. It really is a matter of just learning the cheat codes so that we can have the best experience playing, but also so that we can quote unquote win. So the format I have decided to go with, while I'm going to be sharing the cheat codes, quote unquote, with you for the game of life to win, I thought it would be smart to also include the things that are the opposite. So you can not only implement the good, but you can stop doing or delete perhaps some of the things that might be stopping you or blocking you from entering the next levels to work your way up to that quote unquote win. So cheat code number 1 is getting outside every single day. The opposite would be staying inside all day. I cannot tell y'all how much this one alone has changed my life. The fact that I go on a daily walk, aka, as I like to say on social media, at Mandy J. Ross, if y'all are not following me or connecting with me outside of YouTube yet, I always talk about going on my hot girl walks because these walks for me have quite literally changed my entire reality. They're a win in itself. The amount of people I've met on my walks, the amount of brainstormed creative ideas that have come to me on my walks, the amount of problem solving I've been able to do on my walks, the amount of beauty and essence of, natural, gorgeous life, romanticizing my life that I've been able to do while getting outside every day has changed my life. It is a life hack. I always say a daily outdoor walk is one of the greatest hacks of life, because when you also take yourself outside of your little comfort bubble, your little comfort zone at home, what you're basically doing is you're opening yourself up. Your mind expands to new people, new opportunities, new scenarios, experiences, etc., etc. So every time you leave your house, you're that much more likely to experience something that could be a next step to, the next biggest blessing of your life. Maybe you end up meeting your soulmate. Maybe you end up running into an opportunity. Maybe, there's so many scenarios just by leaving the comfort of your home. So absolutely, number 1, I would say that will completely change your life is just making sure you get outside every day. The other thing about that is just mentally speaking, I feel like it's so important to make sure you're getting out. They say that loneliness is actually one of the worst detriments to us, not having a community, not actually connecting with people one-on-one. I don't mean on your little smartphone. I know we're all guilty of that at times, just connecting with people online or in text message, but it's really good to make time to see people in person. I went out with my girls the other night for a beautiful dinner, and I hadn't been out all week because I had not been feeling well, and I can't tell you how happy and just more at peace I was after connecting one-on-one with some of my girlfriends. It honestly made me feel like a different woman by the end of the evening. So getting out, doing different things, just getting outside of your house every day is absolutely a life hack to winning the game of life. Right along with this is moving your body every day. It is a non-negotiable for so many reasons. It's not a coincidence, I should say, that I decided for one of the hats that I wear to make part of my career teaching others how to move. When we move our bodies every day, it's not just for vanity's sake. Sure, there are people that do that. I don't believe that's the majority of people. Of course, we want to look good. That is definitely a part of it. And also, aesthetically speaking, it's a lot easier, I will say, to have a higher self-esteem typically if we enjoy what we see when we look in the mirror. But that's like more the surface level, superficial, whatever. That's not why I'm suggesting this as a life hack. First off, when you move your body, you are literally releasing endorphins that make you neurologically a happier person. So that's number one. The other reason why it's so important to move your body every day is because it will keep you both physically and mentally younger. It's been proven. And also, you're shaking off, you're releasing stress. That's a huge part of this. To be a happy, healthy person, you need to figure out ways to release the trauma, aka stress, that's built up in your body. So when you decide to move every day, you're literally allowing that to release from your system. You're getting rid of that stagnant energy. People who move their bodies every day, and more often than not, have such a brighter aura about them. And it's because, in part, they're releasing all of that stress. People who move their bodies are also said to live longer. And I'm not surprised, because mentally and physically, you are giving yourself such a gift. And I would say this is a major life hack to make sure you're moving every day. Pair it with number one. As I said, go for an outdoor walk every day. Do a workout outdoors, get those endorphins pumping. Feel happier, feel healthier. Everybody wins in this. Number three is a little controversial. Spend more than you earn. Now versus spend less than you earn. Now, I don't condone or suggest you go into major debt, but anyone who is very successful has at some point had to invest themselves, especially monetarily, into bettering themselves. It is never a waste of your money, your time, your energy, if the ROI is a better version you. Now, a lot of times this does require you to actually invest money. I can't tell you the number of money that I've poured into courses, coaches, self-development programs, you name it, even paid subscriptions, all those things, because at the end of the day, I believe number one, I'm worth the investment. I'm worthy and deserving of becoming the best version of me. And you will always, as long as you apply, I'm going to say the caveat here is not to just go around acquiring a million types of information and knowledge. No, acquired knowledge alone is not going to get you to become a better version of yourself. But a life hack is to invest more than you earn into bettering yourself. Even that could look like learning new work skills, learning new job skills, making yourself a more attractive person. Anything you pour into yourself is inevitably going to be a better ROI than pouring it into something else. You are worth the investment, and that is a major life hack. So that would be tip number 3 on how you can beat the game. All right, number 4 on the list of how to hack this game of life, and the cheat code is you cannot take yourself too seriously. Why is this one of the most important, in my opinion, codes? Because whether you're in a relationship, whether you're building a business, whatever the case may be, if you are enduring versus enjoying your life, you are not winning. If you're someone who goes through life, and believe me, I've had times like that in my prior years where I just got so in my logical head and got so serious and just was so focused. On one hand, that can be a very good quality, but if you're never taking time to just enjoy your life, I will say laughter is the best medicine. It really is one of those things that adds so much. I think it adds so many years to your life, or at least adds the life to your years, as they say. When you're someone who just is on that serious mode constantly, first off, it's not going to be good for your mental well-being, because at some point you're probably going to burn out. But more importantly, life is not meant to be endured. It's meant to be enjoyed. Now, does that mean you can't work hard? Of course not. Does that mean that, you have to be silly all the time? No. That's also like an imbalance as well. But you have to have times where you don't take yourself as seriously and take life as seriously. Even if it's little micro moments of happy in your day, maybe it's looking at funny memes or cat videos, just for an example, or, having a laugh with a friend, or, laughing at yourself is literally a hack and a cheat code to being a winner in this game of life. You have to be able to laugh at yourself. If you can't take a joke, and I'm not saying, again, not someone being disrespectful, but honestly, just being unbothered in that beautiful energy of yours and just being able to laugh at yourself, I'm telling you, this is one of the hacks not only to life, but it's also a cheat code at being a super confident, sure of yourself person. Because a person who's sure of themselves, they can laugh at themselves. And that will make your life a billion times easier, happier, probably mentally healthier. So stick with that one, guys. Now, this one is actually very much pertained to today's modern times as far as people and jobs and whatnot. But a lot of times this can just apply in general. Is one of the cheat codes to life is being a creator versus being a consumer. Now, this can obviously apply to being a content creator online if that's what you choose to do, whether that's personally or professionally. There is this huge movement of having a personal brand and getting yourself out there and potentially even making it into your career, which is one of the things that I've done. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to become a content creator. The point here is, in life, we're all blessed as being creators. For some of us, that does look like social media, but for others, that looks like being an artist. For others, that looks like pouring into some sort of other creation. Now, creation doesn't have to be artistic, but most of the time it is. So versus you sitting and just watching everybody else be creators of their lives, of their destinies, of their artistic abilities and talents, go and create yourself. God blessed you with such unique gifts and talents. And I always say this because I truly believe that. You have a very unique and special gift that only God gave to you out of the 8 billion plus people on this planet. And if all you're doing is spending your time consuming other people's creations, you can only ever be creating or consuming. You can't be doing two simultaneously. Your energy needs to be focused. So if you can focus and channel your energy into creating things, typically that will not only allow you to express yourself, which is part of being a happier, healthier human and winning at the game of life, but chances are that same thing that you deep down desire to express is going to change the world in a positive way as well. So that is like an ultimate double win for yourself and the world. Okay, this next one, get in a little closer, grab your hot bevy. This one is probably one of the top cheat codes to life, and it is not comparing yourself and being a collaborator versus feeling like you're in competition or comparing yourself to others. That quote around, comparison is the thief of joy, that is absolutely true. When you start to look outside of yourself, you're pouring your energy, which again is our highest frequency, you're pouring your energy into somebody else, which means you cannot simultaneously be pouring it into you and bettering yourself, which is the whole purpose, in part of winning this game of life. God didn't put you here to be looking outside of yourself and going, well, this person's better than me in this way, and this person's better than me in that way, and this person has this thing, and why are you focused on everybody else? Please focus your attention on you. I always say, if you're somebody especially who wishes to have more admiration or whatever that thing, whatever the thing is, focus on you, and the focus becomes you. It doesn't become you when you're comparing yourself to others. And quite honestly, it does steal your joy. When you start looking at somebody else, I'm going to break this down too and reframe it in a way that maybe would actually make you understand that comparison is actually a falsity in this reality. Unfortunately, we grow up in a society that is very comparison based, but when you actually think about it, you can never truly compare yourself to anybody else. And I know, there will be some of y'all out there, don't come at me in the comments. I know, again, we grow up in a society, even in a school system, where this person's chosen or that person's chosen, or this person gets an A where this person was lower. And like the whole, again, I don't want to get into the school system, but it's really not rigged in us to be feeling like winners at the end of the day. In order for you to preserve your peace of mind, quite literally, and that is one of the ways to win in life, is to really just have peace of mind in your body and soul. Stop comparing yourself. Get into collaboration mindset. Those people in society who are the most successful and who achieve the most and are the happiest, they realize that you're stronger together. We all rise by lifting one another up. There is no competition. Nobody can be you. That is your superpower. Nobody, and you can't be anybody else. God didn't want you to be. He would have created carbon copies of one another. And I know with social media and other things, sometimes it might feel like we all should be aiming to be this person or that person. But I'm telling you right now, it will literally rob you of your joy, of your energy, if you're looking outside of yourself at what everybody else is doing. That whole notion of, let's better ourselves than the Joneses, it's just so silly to me. Become the best version of you. That's one of the ways that you absolutely can dominate and win in this game of life, is to become the best version of you. That is what God put you here to do, is to be your own best you, not the best version of a carbon copy of somebody else you're trying to be. That's not how you win in life. You win when you own your authentic self and you make the best out of what God gave you. This one goes so much in line with the last one, and I made some notes here, but number 7 is very key. It's when you, instead of resenting those who are successful or who, you deem have more than you or something other than what you have, and you learn to actually look at, instead of being jealous and envious, because that's a horrible energy to be operating with, you look at those as inspiration for yourself, that if they can do it, I can do it. If they can have it, I can have it. I'm telling you guys, this one will change your whole reality. This is a way to win at the game of life. Stop looking at people as your competition and being jealous, and instead look at everybody outside of you who is, say, more successful than you, and realize that if they could do it, if they could manifest it, if they could create it for themselves, so can you. This next one is pure fire. Starting before you're ready versus waiting for motivation. 99.9% of the time, you will not feel motivated to do the things you need to do in order to get ahead. I love the saying that's gone viral on social media, which is follow the plan, not your mood. I am so guilty of this myself, which is why I love this as one of the ways to win at the game of life. It is a cheat code to start before you're ready. You're probably not going to want to do most of the quote unquote boring work that is required behind the goals that you have for yourself, the dreams that you want to accomplish. But you cannot let that be the derail. That's how you stay stuck at a video game level in the game of life. You don't move ahead because you're waiting to feel motivated. The fallacy here is that you will feel more motivated once you actually accomplish a baby step towards what you want to accomplish, not the other way around. That is fake. Even when it comes to something like working out, I literally crave moving my body every day. Do I feel motivated every single time to get up and get ready and move? No, I don't. But I'm following the plan. I'm not following my mood. You have to choose your heart in life. Do I want to look and feel better? Or do I want to not work out and have the alternative and then end up feeling worse mentally and physically because I didn't go and do my workout? You have to assess that for yourself. And if you're someone who is prone to, all compassion I have for you, maybe you have PTSD, maybe you have severe chronic procrastination. If you do, I did do a podcast all about procrastination just to help you out. So if you're struggling, figure out what it is and why you're delaying your blessings and work through that, because you're never going to just naturally feel motivated to have to do the hard work. We are a dopamine induced society. So we have a lot of things vying for our attention. And if you can get ahead of that, on top of that, you will literally be winning so much more in life. This next one is a beautiful segue from the last one, which is to recognize and resolve your problems versus avoiding them. What you resist persists. And that is a very common saying for a reason, because it's true. When you don't actually acknowledge the things that are keeping you stuck in life, you end up becoming somebody who just doesn't get ahead. You stay at the same level in this video game of life. Now, to become a winner, or to win the level so you can move ahead, to the next level, you really need to understand that we're all humans. We're all going through a human experience. That's why there is so much content around self-development and leveling up and glowing up, because it's inevitable. There are things that each and every one of us has to work on and overcome in life in order to become a better version, a next level version of ourselves. So figure out what those things are that are holding you back, that are stopping you. Some of them may be things that I mentioned in this video. I have other podcasts. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast or YouTube channel, I would so appreciate that. And if you feel so obliged to say thank you with a 5-star review, or subbing to the channel and liking this video, sharing it, all the above, I would be so grateful. But all that aside, I put out so much self-development, so much content to help you level up your body, your business, your brain, because we all need that extra support. If we don't identify what isn't working for us, unfortunately, it is just going to continue as a pattern in our life. That's why it's so important to not only identify it, but figure out the tools you need in order to get through it. And life is not happening to you, it's happening through you. So the sooner you can uncover the things within you, the sooner you can work through them, and that will be how you win also at the game of life. Now, this one's a little creative, but I swear this is how you become a winner in life. Being the first to say hello versus someone who never says hi. This can sometimes look like someone masking it as being an introvert or being shy, but I honestly believe that in life, we are all brothers and sisters in a global family. And when you're the type of person who can be that first one in, a room, a group, or even just outside with strangers, which, little life hack here, if you are someone who is kind of stage fright when it comes to being in a group of people, or you feel more introverted, practice on strangers. There's a less of a barrier there for you if it's people who you don't know already. And this can literally lead to so many amazing connections. Again, it could be, someone you end up dating. It could be somebody who you end up, becoming best friends with. It could be an amazing business connection. You never know. Just by striking up a conversation, all it takes is just saying that little hi. I have met some of the coolest people in my life just being out and about and, bumping into a stranger and just striking up a casual conversation that turns into something much deeper, much more beautiful of a connection. And still to this day, I have connections that have started in that way. So be the first to say hi, whether that's in a group of people you already know or just strangers on the street. You never know who you might meet and connect with because of that. This next one is an absolute cheat code to win at the game of life. When you can be someone who compliments a lot versus complains. If you are someone who tends to complain, you are putting yourself in the victim mentality versus a victor or winner mentality. Now, if you can be someone who compliments everything around you. Now, I don't mean you don't have to go overboard. You don't have to also be a fake person about it. I mean, genuinely complimenting others, looking on the bright side of life, noticing the beauty in your day. That will be the kind of energy that actually magnetizes more goodness to you. You'll also find you'll be a much more nicer and probably more popular, not that popularity is necessary to win at the game of life, but it is important to make, friends with those around you. And who doesn't like a compliment, right? If you're someone who nags and complains all the time, sorry to break it to you, but that's really downer energy. Nobody wants to be around a complainer, especially someone who complains and then never actually wants to take action or do anything about it or figure out a solution. Like, that's just such negative energy, and nobody wants that. You shouldn't want that for yourself. So start to compliment life and the things around you versus complaining all the time, because complaining is just going to keep you stuck in a box. You're not going to win that way. This one is just across the board an absolute way to be a winner for yourself versus and to others. Being reliable versus being unreliable. You can also say this as being impeccable with your word versus somebody who, you can't rely on, or who is untrustworthy. The other thing is, when you keep promises to yourself, that's how you build inner trust. Inner trust leads to feeling more confident. When you also keep your word to others, other people can then go, oh, that person is reliable, therefore I trust them. When we don't trust somebody, it's very, very hard to have any sort of connection whatsoever with that person. And that will affect every single area of your life. So just become somebody who others can rely on, especially be reliable to yourself. And the final cheat code to win at the game of life is to be someone who is solution oriented versus always looking for problems. Now, I guess you could loosely call this being an optimist, how I always joke being a Delulu optimist versus someone who is always kind of a downer or a pessimist. But I swear that there is something about being the type of person who's always trying to look for the good, for the silver lining, that actually creates more goodness in your day because of that. When you, even first thing in the morning, you know what I say? I say, thank you, God, for another blessed and beautiful day. And guess what? 99% of the time I have a blessed and beautiful day. You are affirming by the words that come out of your mouth what kind of reality you're creating. If you're someone who walks around always looking for problems and never solutions, guess what? You're going to be a snowball effect. You're going to magnetize problems to you, and your life is going to become problem after problem after problem, because where your mind goes, energy flows, and what you focus on grows. So make sure instead you're someone who's always trying to be a helper and trying to figure out the solutions versus focusing on always looking for problems in your life. All right, my love, I have one bonus for you as the last cheat code to life, which is to be a kind human. If you are someone who walks through life being kinder to yourself and others, you will absolutely, guaranteed, be winning in this game of life. Now, this isn't to be confused with being a pushover or being a nice person, and that's a whole other topic. But when you are a kind person, when you're someone who looks out for yourself and others and has compassion, has heart, you use this head of yours to live with heart, you will absolutely be winning more in life. So I hope you enjoyed these cheat codes. I can't wait to hear how you implement them and how you start winning more in life. I want to just remind y'all that the most important thing is to preserve your peace. And that's why I came up with this list, because for the most part, I feel like if you can create more inner peace for yourself, you're that much more likely to make the world a more peaceful place for others as well. So I hope that you can create more peace within and have that stem glow flow from you without. I'm so curious to know what you would add as a cheat code to anything that I've said, and which one is your favorite. And just as a few little announcements, if y'all are interested in coaching, in my core yoga and fitness app, and basically any services that I offer, as well as brand collaborations, I will have all of that information in the video description below. I will also have my social media, which is at Mandy J. Ross. All of that can be found below in the video description. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you. I believe in you. I am your ultimate hype girl if you're watching, as your life cheerleader. And I really, truly want you to win in this game of life. Hence why I produce this episode. From everyone who is helping me with the Wholeness Podcast and every one of you who is supporting it, listening, subscribing, 5-starring, all of the above. I'm so grateful for your support. And I have so much coming up that I'm so excited about. I'm so grateful to have you in this community. And as always, I am wishing y'all a blessed and beautiful day out there.